yam fanamra. And a judge say, okay, I'm not aware of that. But the chair say extradition and it is so. What is the extradition document? And also because the different departments and because my counsel said these cases are separate. And I say, okay, if that is the case, they are meant to me based on hearsay. And this are most in the mind Ghana at the extradition ambassador Yamafanon Kodia at the Mamamo February 19th. Monkona Monkofasa extradition documents and Namra Namihua. Majina so determine what as a bond now what post say yaman and kwan namno yaman of kwan na say yaman of kwan until the ultimate case is determined. This is a simple matter. So some make uti and some make na quite clearly a chance that this is a guy are you ready to fight our yeah not just about Kruma saying again bond now opposed to he wanted to have his freedom to do whatever but deny now from day one up to now Kenoforata has been in a detention. It's more than 2 weeks now, and he's going to be in detention till February 19th. So if Obi catches us in the eyes of the law, immigration officers and the eyes for about time prison Obi then that tells you say it's all lie, because America will not bundle a sick man who is going to die like they presented it. Say young fanon a detention center. Yeah. So it's never, America will never do that. But clearly a choice and some now can even though he may be sick, but he's not somebody who is terminally ill and also are so incapacitated or immobilized. Say yes, they to stretch us in a quarter hospital, and that was the sort of message they were sending back and forth. And then the on for the fact say Kenoforata has decided never to come back to this country, and I'm saying Sanema go back to Akufo-Addo direct because he is the person who enlisted these petty criminals to handle the sensitive areas of this particular economy. Kenoforata will be in the track record in the private sector. He has never been in government business before. He was brought forward because President Wafasiye. At some point in time, his own party people rose against him because they were a man and not order or minor costume. Now it was dangerous, it was reckless. Yeah. Today, the same gentleman has the gut and the moral audacity to be sitting somewhere writing letters back and forth to Ghana for say, oh, Meyario, Mama Mekwine. When people were adducing enough justification as to why he should not destroy their banks, Musio, son of the say, yes, or some court in the bank, in some. Did he give him a chance to explain? No. Papa syndrome. Kakwan fa so ordinary no ene amoaben o so da ne demu e wokukurantimi a day before no Kenoforata crashia aye meeting. Did he give these people a chance? Say omo en church nsemu nchire no. So what the timodin yes aboni we wo kroma say na fe emra so sa won so bra na beyiwa no. Now you clothe yourself with this, I am sick, and then that tells you the character of the person in question. And that is what people are not looking at. You see, over the years, young people have actually lost trust in the political establishment because there is this easy to go with mindset to say, oh, everybody is corrupt, oh, politician, and you see, some of this behavior give you credence to those impressions that were for people because growing up, now me free say responsible people ne don't and when you are done, you answer for your crimes, whatever it is, you render accountability. The last time I catch us, even Pentecost, say you fall as a deacon or whatever, now say head the church. Now say you don't call by before you account to the people. Mo said that we near my SCT, and you can check from the churches how much more your friends are mine. And in the panel TV, so we defend the Kenoforata. Today, the guy is saying, I am not coming anywhere because my bar, I will be witch hunted. Akufo-Addo to Kruma, when I witch hunting. Has there been any single way I witch hunting will Kruma say? Nobody has been witch hunted. Nobody, and I actually regarding some of the investigations that Kenoforata involved now was spending more than 2 days. Or Yoko or any of the investigation agencies. So where lies the argument to say, me bar? Somebody will hunt me. There is no justification. The guy has decided that or he understands the enormity of his crimes. He understands Niama Waya Okroma, and the fact is there are several other criminal things I ever pop it up. And in order to avoid everything, is the reason why he's doing all these things. But you see, the Oyanamaka, Ogun Edimasi, Ogu party Adneba Edimasi. and all good nebusian for any masse. Come my culture say if Kenoforata failed to return to this country, which he is bent on doing, in the next way, no, the man nebusian for will be reminded. Kwanya omo fa na sa papa na sa omukunu de oman Ghana be ba kwhwe bra dwa ne kwotena obi man so ko wu ya na sa wanti ya ma ne krom, and that will be a blot on the conscience of his family for generation abeba, because amamo na bebu ye no kwa da ho nsem ye kan ye nyanwe ye. We are still trying to unpack the remnant of the bad governance that these people gave us, and then you have the audacity sitting somewhere be talking nonsense, and his lawyer on the other hand is also infuriating and annoying Ghanaians with those dirty remarks on radio, on TV. You think Kenoforata and when a year man for fast said, yeah, a man for sorry free TV so no more can say no, because the guy is a central figure in all the criminal activities that happen in this country, in all the investigations going on. So what is his problem? Why is he running away from accountability? Yeah. At some point in time, his family took part in this whole thing, and they were writing letters back and forth. So, oyare. Today, why are they not writing the same letter? What is the current update on his health status? What are some American? So, Kenoforata there, or Nkosuo gunanimasi no begunanimasi ya gunanimasi ya nanko ya obi a we former finance minister ebanese na obi na kwotena obi man. So today he is being treated like a criminal, a petty criminal. Yede wakwakoto ya fancy detention center just like any other person. Because my culture said to Donald Trump no say with the America now documents and as for no who was a criminal, also a criminal alien, and they treat you as such. And today, Ghana's former finance minister who rests until recently, yeah, and nama a soldier for the crown a bag up and white, yeah, to Bible verses and as for today, the same character deny on one kasana mind. And he has declared himself persona non grata. Say me kro mint me nko ho me nko me kwa e betete me. Abrabo ben na obo no krom entra wuntumi nko krom. Very often a state in the chasing a man for out. But today he is chasing himself out. The state want him back and he's unwilling. You understand? So for me it is a shame. And afeme ye mu bin sama na ye ka say Akufo-Addo amamu no ayamamu bone and MPP as a political party even confirmed the further. God Nema Kenoforata ye nyina ye Nema ebo man enye nyame adom and a certain strategic range engineering bia koso and economy no atimi azumi a certain 14 bia anka ne ebia anka enimba bia ye wo, and we take these things for granted. We do normal. It's not normal. So I think that Kenoforata wherever he is wama onyo bia enye obi na oye no ono na eye no ho ono ankasa na mena na otu ono ankasa na guso ogu na nimase, because today he's all over, and whatever that is written said about him will be on the internet forever. Today look at him, a former finance minister looking like a petty criminal on TV screens all over the place. And so will be a war conscience. Will you subject yourself to this sort of public mortification? Oh, what sense of shame? Will you allow yourself to go through this particular process when you know I have done nothing? What at all is this? Let me go answer and then come. Nothing prevents him from coming. So his insistence also chiro the sort of disrespect. Only Akufo-Addo no for the people of this country. They have never respected the people of this country. That is why at some point when Ghanaians were so determined in their resistance against something like e-levy, and then as a for these people were they were mocking Ghanaians. Kaakyire and say the cake, the more kase, the akase yabaye no one yabaye. You see, so for me, I think I feel so ashamed and so embarrassed, and he is a coward. That is what people should see him as. Because if you are not a coward, there is no reason to run away from your country when every single person in that country is calling you to come. You have not been pronounced guilty. You have lawyers. You have right to your counsel. And as a forum, what at all is he running from? So yeah, like I said, we have two windows. Now the extradition process is going on, and then the deportation, even though the judge already the deportation case, I requested for the extradition, papers, but it has not taken anything away from the extradition. If that particular process may go through and the judge becomes so satisfied that indeed the guy has to be extradited, he will be extradited, and then we will also be looking at this particular way. So for the state at this point, I am not sure anybody can blame the Attorney General, because there's all you be aware. within his
SP Kurane D can delay at the end.
Yes. Or play games around it. Today, the Attorney General is doing all that because on to me in fact playing America, so I quite chicken for the name, but it is never done. He has to go through the process and then as a forum, and that's exactly what he's doing to get the gentleman back to this country. My catcher said, if there is anybody to blame, you blame Ken Oforata because he has moral obligation to the people of this country. If or respecting the people of this country, he will have to come back and answer for what he did. What I said. So if the person is trying to bring him back and he's going through a bottleneck to get him back, now or successful, you cannot blame that particular person. You cannot begrudge him. Rather begrudge the person who is insistent, the one who serves in a capacity. That by a finance minister, and today he's saying that he's sick. Ya na say bibi ha omo adwen ya nte kroma tachuchi kata atia sorry dem omo kofa no dey na wie na dey ba no so no prison. Victor Solomon and other people, they died in prison. These people were not granted this, and now when you could do a baby, and near my Chachuchi Kataye, and near my Victor Solomon and other people are yes subjected to such public humiliation, you know. Kind of almost 1,000 times. And today you have the audacity sitting somewhere writing back and forth nonsense, seeking to justify. Say, oh, your friends I'm posting bond. So when yes, he can so he can post a bond. Go to the US and go and look at the facility he's lodging. Very expensive facility. Now, Sikano, when you Sikafua, will you be doing these things? Exactly. So for me, I think Ghana there. We are renewed in our request, and again, quiet demonstration, you know, they are entitled to because they are Ghanaians. Sikana yajeno, accountability na Ghana for enya John Mahama na accountability enya NDC enya Attorney General. And the people of this country, the government is only doing so on their behalf. So the people at any point in time dissatisfied with the process have every right to demonstrate. Even the US embassy understands that Ghana for the right to demand the extradition, and it has been happening. It's one of the ways I'll bet me using the democracy. I'll bet me demanded for his extradition, so that the State Department and the DOG will see the need and the urgency Ghana for attached to this particular case. Because my culture says he's not any French person. Ken Oforata is a key and a central person of interest in all the criminal proceedings going on in this particular country, because he was sitting at the finance ministry, writing the check, dipping his hand into consolidated fund without recourse to law or authorization. He didn't respect anybody because Newofa, as a president, was dipping his hand. He too was dipping his hand. They took Ghana as a some sort of a family property. Across a village supermarket over there. With me tum nana nam obi yamu kano here dro because farmers in me baby. That was the way they were running this country. Absolute nonsense, you understand. Today you have the audacity and the infantry sitting somewhere writing back and forth to us and I'm a yare na debe. So I think Nkosuo nimase and I can't say when nature is pursuing you, you can never hide. And then I'm going to say what would the atotono? Today you are in the US. Hiding in your comfort zone, but you are all about on TV. Man for a show. You look miserable because we will be sensible psychologically. The trauma, the sort of embarrassment you are going through, and not quite enough. So for me, for the average Ghanaian seeking justice, there, whatever Ken Oforata is going through today, there is nothing more justice than what is going through. The humiliation, the public mortification, the embarrassment all go through on TV screens. People are discussing him. For that way, lend certain justification and credence to Yamu Binum. Our earlier health positions these were petty, unwitting criminals who took over this country and they messed this nation up. And time has come for them to answer for their crimes because they are cowards, Look at where he is today. Because when you're a coward, you don't run away from accountability. You face it, whatever it is, whichever form, whichever way will be, and you face it squarely, you come out as a hero. But running away makes you a coward, and that is what he is. That is why during their time, they tag you as anti-government enthusiast, and they will come after you. Even within the MPP, look at what they did to Eugene Boachienpi and Co. Because they requested, said the president should change Kenoforiata. They weaponize the entire government against dissent. And that's exactly what the MPP is doing today. Today in opposition, look at what they are doing. Even in opposition, they've gone ahead to weaponize the political party from Pom and Co. Look at what they are doing to you. Hey, yacho. Party, I will lose power opposition. You should be in the face of reconciliation, like a mother. Whatever nonsense they did, as a mother, you sit back, you listen to Obia, you try to, because at that time, when you in a certain age, some to be together. Now, mother, no. You are at the time when you and cry, I feel I with you. That's exactly what the MPP is doing, and they don't even realize it. That is what I'm saying. They are not even amenable to wisdom reasoning, the common logic. It is a common sense. It has become so expensive for them. Common sense now is so common. It's very expensive, and they cannot even amend their mind to any of these things. So for me, I think I could forward I cannot say no. He came to equally destroy the political party and 10 MPP for we are decent-minded individuals. You are turning away from the party, now left with pitiful sycophants who are singing hallelujah choruses. And that is what the party has become today. It's the reason why they are determined taking away people like Frimpong Wating, Nyahota Maklo, and several other prominent individuals over the years, or more life as several political party, because when you do a certain age, you don't think twice when they're criticizing people. Because after what? And some penny for baby Omunina Kwanahona, you move in Mufriba. Baby Omunina Kwa, and they can openly speak their mind. I started, who tells us that this generation is a different generation. Because we started speaking, I don't care even if you're Jesus Christ and you mess up. The last time I catch us, you're quite heavy on Chalana, yes, we didn't say Muna. It's as simple as that. What I say. So you should not compromise on principles and those kind of stuff. What I say. Those things are standard. They are natural. You don't. Move away from it because be an answer. If it is a lie, it is a lie. It's as simple as that. So it's good today. And they are speaking to it. I think it's cool for Kenoforiata there. You all go through, and one will go through, and this process will continue unabated until the America make a determination. And so that's America can stay. That is on him, that is on his family, and that will be on him forever. We are going to never be disappointed. And then the other lady now, you see, nobody is saying that she should not be brought back to this country. She also part of it. Or not quite in the case, she has been convicted as a felon. Yes, or better prison. And the Attorney General is doing everything to bring that woman back. And I feel so ashamed. So we are several mine. Now, in the end, you run away. You are a coward. What I said now, you are a coward. You are a coward. Exactly, you are a coward. Because the mere fact that you impose a prison sentence on you, sometimes people go to jail and they fight their sentence. What I say. And that is what makes you a human being. Because politics, we are not just doing politics, we are charting history. Young people have to learn. Young people have to understand, because politics is something you learn through experience. So Abrabo more born Ghana. Politics, you don't need to be a person of character. You don't need to be a person of high value principle to be politics. The answer was Nibu and our namphobia or met me influencer point to baby. Oba wouldn't say Munato, but leadership must come with responsibility, value principle, no matter what you stand in for your people. And there will be our say Onja Finance Ministry no Hong Kong because Oyare at the time, because he could not abandon his children. At the time, his children, Ghanaians, need him the most to come and answer. Look at what he's doing. Such a shameful coward.
All right, my country was say where they sent to Kobe. Okay, I think what's no. Me person me ti ase eye. I me say ono person o chere say on ti ase die ntia was omode Kenoforiata eko immigration court, because you need say who US now say why overstay or visa. What they do is to just deport you. So why is Kenoforiata's own different? Na lucrative na seek say anope watch okay, or say question If 720 has overstayed his visa in the US, why are the Trump administration keeping him in detention until April 2026? I'll say if you overstay in this country, they will just deport you. Why is 720 on different? Makoche on a honor tintin and the Niabra.
Yeah, but they don't just deport here.
Yeah.
US new policy, she are one ten, and that's Chiana for Doko, Yaduako Plemudoko, Omonyasa. Say, all defense, and as a foreign, you go to the court process and you have no justification. That is why automatically, by no crown, it take time. And into immigration for no camp, I keep you or more honor. There are those who are or more in some more court, they have to because Obu Howling Krata, but legitimately waware and a whole lot of processes onin krata and obinsu a criminal a whole lot, and it's not a straightforward say when na de channel do a process that you need to go through.
All right, I'll say why is Solo ya mark him absent now. So last time they fed the crab bro papa ya will say Miss Ivan, congratulations, I started waiting for you since midnight. Hey as a midnight they show na say all right young twas when na me assure say one will say you tag for any abre e wo GTech director so say the mandate aye dia man no say on fanya adwuma no wajai and o chase individuals or more a use doctor and professor title, so they think say onima adwuma enti e was say or resign and na ye say civil society organization, governance, accountability and transparency forum, and so say almost support to the youth tag for Kano. Now I don't know. Obaa resign there.
Yeah. I think that my Tanaha campus papa no has a much. You see, you can't education our home. We don't just go for certificate.
Yeah.
We don't just go for papers. So you can't say education a lifelong kind of experience. I run through and Obaa Abonteno. You don't only get certificate. Emotionally, you should be intelligent and mature. Psychologically, you have to be very intelligent, and you become so fortified. Say all aspects of life, maybe you are able to deal with it because we educate people to be ready for uncertain circumstances.
Yeah.
So it's not about certificate. It's unfortunate that in recent times our education has been reduced to certificate. We should be not just certificate now. Tima, what we know now, but now we are seeing another way because only at the video they couldn't know what dancers are educated.
Yeah.
Apart from the paper, in terms of experience, in terms of knowledge, nothing. Paper na yene need so nti ende o kase o family ko wura dem a obetime yiya ta so eno an di ne ho dance and it's quite shameful. I'm saying this just to tell you say when you are educated and you're dealing with such a complex phenomenon like this, there are ways to go about it. But this gentleman, I don't know, I'm told he's a professor. I'm not a professor, a subject of challenge. Yes, the way he's handling this thing is very annoying and so shameful. Because he has become a constant way on social media. Obia Semba, that is when his mandate becomes activated. And that is why I think he's so incompetent that he should be sacked. Because your mandate should not be activated when there is a controversy surrounding somebody. And nothing has happened. I do my way. Say, yes, ya Titi a doctor, Adianchi, now sorry do wachi. And Sama Yanyan Kasa ya Titi a doctor. Ya has been running around town with a doctorate degree, in which you are aware. You are now aware as an institution, that is your mandate. And now going on social media back and forth, is that the responsibility of the CEO or a CEO and the director and the Juma no. Only other subordinate, another institution should be seen as going after these people. Should he be an individual? But yes, bear some sort of an attention-seeking freak, an individual who want to use social media and the public space, chasing clout and popularity.
Yeah.
And for me, it's very shameful. And they are all seek to also cast doubt on the academic integrity of the entire system now, because it means there are a lot of people with faith when you have not been able to even prove any of them. Because Yaa Titi could have fake certificate. You don't confront Yaa Titi per se. School now say you write to the school for the school to verify. You can put it out there and the Legon will tell you say Yaa Titi saw your professor man professor Bia, it settles the matter. There shouldn't be any back and forth between because in the right to information there is no single university abroad I will trust them for further and better particulars concerning an individual Wansanka. So where lies this social media kind of stuff? What I say? It's very embarrassing and very shameful. And for me, I agree with them because they are all, you know, he's just reducing the whole academic distance to something else. You understand? Because yes, it's good say Obikra fake certificate in as a formal. Yes, you need to go. I agree perfectly with that particular line. But the approach, that is what I'm saying, is that maturity and certain sense of intelligence should come to bear the way and manner you go about it. Because if you put somebody on the spot, send a certificate and you fake, when you've not gone to any court, when you have not verified, and then later it turns out that Nippon certificate in a genuine, then the irreparable damage you've done to the person, can you undo it? Because forever it will be sitting on the internet. You understand? So for me, I think that or no be or fit for that particular job. Maybe say Najuman assign because he seemed to be enjoying the sport. The very moment we hey know about Ayaraga, yeah, you know about, we know about, and see Ayaraga nyam emba sport, you know. The guy has been running around town with a doctorate certificate for how many years in here? Oh. The last time they did an interview with him and movie sent baby on the school. Somehow cannot teach Abubefu. School now graduate certificate. But this person has been running around for a very long time. And as G-Tech, you know, what have you done? Background check Ben a year to authenticate or otherwise that particular way. What I say? It means you are not doing your job. You just enjoy the social media back and forth and then no they call Professor Ayensuso or China no they call Weso or when you are Kasano certificate and then him for the demand say on you know UTAG na any ordinary people. There are people with professor doctorate degree in as a form who are incised by this shameless act of oh yes I am on social media. So I think it's a right call. I disagree perfectly with Kwanya and the modus operandi. I am not taking anything away because I don't want to see anybody with fake certificate. But unfortunately, we live in a country where we think life is all about certificate, documents, and papers. But the intelligence that is required to make sure that we change society, we are not even focused. The last time I told you, you wake up in the morning, you see two lawyers on TV arguing foolishly on issues. I said, when these people are supposed to use the intelligence to amend the cracks in society, because there are a lot of legal pitfalls and loopholes in our system. These people need to come up with alternative. Amend by Hano doing law and I said what degree ni say ya got TV so na me show me catch power to show what the na ya jin kwase chinja fa so ni so we are no but the role I say yet to solve society e bi ni ho talk on no issue ba ya na back and forth. You see at the time na amount make chroma asem si a na wo hu expect na se for no asem talk on no issue no ba no. You see that people were saying so kwanya e fa so you remove chief justice no enye na prima facie and establish here say your friends say the documents na kokochire na for over the years to close say nyansa na bo bi adwen mu da until the situation your friends say okay see here and as an intellectual you don't sit for problems to pop up. Your job should be like a primary health care agency, that is where you activate your intelligence, you scan through society, identify challenges, problems, and bring certain solution to bear. And then say academic work. Okay, America, some of the young guys, that's what they are doing. Open AI. Yeah. Some people sat down and say, oh, artificial intelligence, you bit in the idea to quicken the way and manner people will do things. And they came up with a concept, and it is beautiful. It's not something and I'm Ghana higher better so we criticize it. You were engineers who has say what on kasa kra na car your friends why are here he doesn't even know baby what the best what I say. So what kind of academic way na here? That is why I've been proposing say the entire academic system we need to retool it. Yeah. Because emphasis ni so ya. So here na amane a ye namu na obi bedware alternatives am ya professor me ye we na wo he na chi na ono ana ohia ne na se for no ye wo ma. It means say ye nyina ya failure ho as a country, and we need to move to a certain direction where we can tap into the innate potential of Obia. For a mind to grow, you don't only need people with certificate. There are people from diverse areas. Go to Argentina. Lionel Messi as an individual, the kind of gains or their Argentina, I am not sure that any single person in Okan lawyers or more Argentina, Adia Messi as a footballer. Ne dey na enye school. Ne dey football talent keke na owo. But dey odi abra Argentina no. O kan lawyers o mo Argentina nyina boma. O kan judges o mo Argentina nyina boma. Plus the president or half of crown or wintimi family man. What I say? So it tells us that we must begin to expand our horizon. We have always been very restrictive in our perspective concerning education. So we narrowly look at the problems, we fixate on it, and without looking at other alternative options. No kind of GBC for Bibino, we are not turning, and I think the NLD. So for me, I think it's a right call. That G-Tech boss not honor. Ajuma is right, but the modus operandi is absolute nonsense. And for me, if people are calling on his head, it means people are dissatisfied with the way a manner he's going about his thing. It's quite unfortunate. So, but that's sorry, not such sensitive areas. You know, about best subject, I hear debating on social media, and away your professor, where you say, Abasana. Or more genuinely, or more crowd your friends a certificate, you know. You cast doubt because we have created a certain way. Say there are some but they might be working with fake certificates. That is the realm you prove out to. But what if you do all the background investigation? Now, what if I conclude say, your certificate is fake? The very moment I would then you are armed with relevant information and yet rebuttable. You don't do it with issues. Let me rebut those presumptions. And so now the Bible thing. Now when the Bible and I can be rebutted, it means how when you were doing away. Professor Yansu the other by you did not do a single background check on whether to say she had a certificate or not. And I said, well, go through what she's claiming she have or not. Now with the social media back and forth. The thing started in Parliament. I actually a G-Tech boss or drew. And I don't know to America. And as I don't know. You see, it's absolute nonsense. And I think that his behavior doesn't espouse or be mature. And that is why I think his own colleagues are asking that he should go home. He's not fit for that particular job. And I think if a better person can be assigned to do that particular job, it will help. Or maybe the mandate should be redefined because this social media back and forth is so annoying. I am not saying, say, Ajumana or any so because it needs to be a graphic certificate. Now, you're Yamana Basa because we cross Animan and the respect to Okroma. And so some man for so Okroma yet home.
Okay, and see, yeah, me pass a share 2 topics. You bet me, I can home ask them. I hear reports about one saying, say, Ghana for the door now, I think 56%. Let's say the country is in the right direction, and I feel so promising for far. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, they buy and say, also the Ghana so for because Israel. Oh, no, Mamma knows some Hunusa. Israel. Also, sir, you know, me for a Kawama you want Afibia or Mokomeka into one also or share him say or Babiuma or the Sheba Bana a Christopher so the Boko Israel. Africa, the energy media. Yeah, so sometimes I reports and I new promise, you're going Israel.
Yeah, I think that the country moving in the right direction, you know. You don't need to be a soothsayer.
Yeah,
I keep telling people, say we are not out of the woods yet, and this is not the time to celebrate. We are in the phase of laying a solid foundation for better Ghana to take off. We are very fortunate. Say, Neamana Yelusu have all come home and the economy, offer a certain confidence. We are going near. You could see clearly. Say, baby, and I am na me muha car no kochoku yene. Yet me you can see kwemu. You clean your painty. Your pet driver for fra. What's your name? Cool-headed driver. Are you ready to take us to our destination? And I think, sir, we are Ghana near. You should be happy. Sir, you take it this and hope, sir, we don't divert or deviate from this line. Because the government has exhibited a high sense of discipline. I think, sir, no can be and you were on track. The government has come out with other innovative alternatives like the good board concept. Forex and a hundred maya na yenye to the stand we had to go for the IMF deal. IMF sikana kokoji and sikana na yehio. Now we needed dollars. I bet we infuse it into the system because now you to be in dollars. yentimi nko euro bond enko floati. The only money ebetimi anya and say you borrow from the domestic market. Sa sika no na ye cedis. So we needed dollars. Sabe ebetimi aba. And yenyanti and na almost say yemfa oil nkonkoje yemfa gold nkonkoje oil because they need dollar dey kwakoto oil. That is the concept. So today, if all these things happen now rating agencies now shall see who said the economy is on right footing because all the projections are say you be meet 2030 2035 no within 1 year we've been able to as achieve all these things. It's shocking, and I'm sure that if you meet President Mahama today, now one-on-one interviewer Obaka say he himself is shocked by the state of affairs Ghana, but a miracle. A certain decisive bold initiative taken by government just to ensure say maybe an Ghana for no almost and intina they all in one accord affirmed confidence in President Mahama and gave him power to turn things around. And I think that he's on right track. And the major problem that facing Ghana has to do with the CD dollar. And if for the first time in about 30 years, if Bloomberg will come back and tell you, say, me check currency, Ghana currency for the first time in 30 years, I record over 30% appreciation. Over the years. It has been declining. It shows that something positive has happened, and it is because the massive forest infusion Emma CD, Emma dollar, and your scarce. And then the excess cash now more a good system no akwa we turn a Bank of Ghana into a printing press. Or that's what I know pa on the yerenya asema the bufu pe okotana Bank of Ghana no so twa sika gum sa. Ye de buy ho so 2022 ni sika se na na over billions of Ghana cedis. And they forget that the very moment that you are printing money you cause inflation. And now you run offer $1 now the call you run obenya omusika na over 1.2 million. And in agitation in as for a cause. So a sure say inflation thereby the history of the world. First World War, the Second World War. Second World War predominantly was because of hyperinflation in Germany. Because reparation they were supposed to pay, they couldn't pay. And first Germany was thrown into a realm of hyperinflation. And on a man, Obi free Austria, Adolf Hitler. It in the ebe dada omo abeji oman na o sign the another world war no because the reparations on them they could not pay what I say. So inflation ade ba ko a enya ba omo mu ese ade bia, but because of this the Bank of Ghana has been able to mop up the excess cedi because when there's too much cedi in circulation affecting inflation and so forth because a must can lose the value. So bringing in dollar to the commercial banks and sapping all the cedis from the system will help to control the inflation. This is because and the Ghana your inflation number a single digit. I used to understand say sikana microphone twagu system no bebre no ka ho bi because the more you have excess cash ade ya bobo bia o and the nearman na ye to no esa and a sikano dawson so the prices will go up. That is simple economics. What I say. So I wonder why people on TV say and na John Mahama buy na we push 10 billion good system num and na deba na ya boka na sa sikano ke betimi de akwa ya de foforo. Ignorance. Advertising on TV. Like as I say, we cannot be ignorant. But the very moment you begin to advertise ignorance on TV, it becomes idiocy. And that is what these people were doing. And I listened to a lot of your friends say so-called experienced politicians who sat on TV and were making similar, your friends saying, analogy on TV, sheer ignorance being advertised in public, and it was very embarrassing. So I think the first year of John Mahama say the country is in the right direction. I know Musa Dankwa outfit did similar thing, and they affirm say indeed. This is when you watch so kind of correct because I will have a be an age 2022 2023 for hope crash a cool besi okroma now have a be a in
fact I was one of them.
Yes,
you were one.
Yes, now you yes, because countries are not cool not your name on there but we were able to and then we are getting out of that particular quagmire and economy no again a certain fortune nipa aban fa atimodin so geo musica by force. And abang by those payments have been made. Eurobond that to share that I see and those monies are being paid. I am man Ghana ye credit worthy. And now Kwabon among for respect to the president says we don't want to become beggars, we want to be partners. Sebaya in a shared vision, the young see as a minor. You bet me Germany for us Ghana, young see a vision here, but not always your friends say inserting yourself into somebody's vision, hoping that it will benefit you. We need to take the center stage and lead our own future. You don't have to be a beneficiary of Obi future, our planet. Na improper one here no, na ye benefit it. And I think that is good, and Ghana can confidently say Oman is moving in the right direction. Yes, we can argue not all aspects there, and we are hoping that with time, Niama will turn around, because we have petrol and SL below 1 city. I don't remember the last time, but it's been very longer. Top petrol below where and some of the filling stations come and just all turn here somehow. Breakfast and so forth. A certain relief be for a business entity to be doing these things. It means that they are making profit and then as a so I think that it's good, very inspiring. And we are Ghana near, you need to be very confident. Now, you may not like John Mahama, you may not like the NDC, that's your business. But the fact of the matter is that the rippling effect is quite positive. You are enjoying, I'm enjoying, and we hope that we'll be able to sustain it. And because dollar number for maintain the price in our ton on air conditioner na your ton is 6,000 Ghana cedis, and it's been sold 4,000 Ghana cedis. A more bargain. So near my way, I bring a certain sort of relief into Ghanaians. And I think that the drivers and mates in the back and forth. The only challenge that the government will have to avail his mind to say, yeah, I was a trotro drivers, say your tip petrol soon I say until the petrol so I know more difficult because about 80% of them don't own the car. Own the car. But daily sales is fixed. And this all kinds of non-petrol go against him. So I think that you see the transportation sector we over the years leave it to the private sector for long. It's a critical national security area. Government will have to get deeper and take that monopoly from these private entities who do it for their own parochial selfish interests. Not government taking a key role in it. Now you're making sure, say, major and the key decision within it, is not left to the discretion of a profiteering enterprises and entity and individuals. Now, it will be based on government policy, prioritizing average and the ordinary Ghanaian. So that we want to rely on the benevolence of these drivers to reduce the prices, and they will not, because also if you run now or the same thing that has to do with rent. Rent is the same thing, and I think that there should be a policy targeting rent. Because Obia does to a dime woman as a dam with the team. And you see, because there is no proper regulation, a regulator a dime Obi the dime 3 years not painty chrome, 5 painty crack, just on father walk more Honda, but a fibia price at the behest of one and a twisted discretion. But the state policy be yes, I'm sure sir Saniema will be bringing relief to the young people of this country, and that is all that they are asking for. See, I can't relieve government policies how many people can go to banks or but the rent in a when you're making sure say 6 months nobody takes more than 6 months 1 year nobody takes more than but obetimi the net diamond how catch yourself 3 years advance when you mean for and prices no one determine rent control and rent control omojuma say I become a useless entity. This will be no being a samansa. My Ghana, they are you. Over rent control, no. Now, beyond that, as soon as I think we need to slide them into action and make sure that we give them responsibility and ensure that they oversee all the, because it's a sensitive sector, especially Accra, Kumasi, and Tamale. These urban areas, you don't know how relieving it will become if rent challenge is addressed in this country. A lot of young people will have relief. And this is a sensitive area. Nobody is regulating. Because it's because of rent area. Yes, but you cannot be putting prices at anyhow on it. Government will have to move in. So these are two priority areas I'm asking government to move in: transportation and then rent issues in this particular country. So you failure, it doesn't matter the kind of beautiful policies the government put across, still the people will be wailing because and I think that is a challenge. Back to Dr. Bawumia.
3 minutes.
I think that Bawumia and I just saw best, and I think that incompetence tag no more target, or deserve. Because you see, me, I am a very religious person. I keep telling you that I'm a Catholic, but for long I'm against this nonsense of government sponsoring people to go to Mecca, go to Israel. That should not be the business of government. So we are Kramoni, we are Christoni, not Sao Paso Mecca, or Honsoya, Massa, Baby. It's as simple as that. The state should not be venturing into those sensitive enterprises in Nasifonum. Because Yakasi, we'll be ushering ourselves into a realm. You're not careful. And near my idea of my sick about but that's on a cocoon and something in for say Yansono. I say, you're good, son. Exactly. And as a state, you have to oblige. Yeah. Because you've pushed yourself into a realm of absurdity where everybody can exploit you. You understand? So these are religious kind of me. I hold my religious everything to my heart. I don't put it as a badge of honor on my forehead. And I'm you do it as how you can. Nyansa be the wom say betu a million dia ma man for some come Mecca monko Israel monko bompaye ye baba back no na ye matitifi aduma kro munya binya. When we could have used that money to create a scholarship scheme for Zongo communities, for deprived communities, and give people scholarship. I bind bet me at the model be about training a man for Numa. Why any other way are very good models and so forth. Sasikano, we can sponsor a lot more people to learn trade rather than Papa say millions of dollars. I want Mecca, I don't buy a comsign. Does it make sense? And today, Bawumia is telling us also before Christopher Domako Israel. And it just say, I just say about dreams of mine. It's a challenge. So I catch us on that is bringing nothing. Because this is a gentleman who claims on the economic messiah or mine the sharing inside ye we na da gatam or mine the fruit so na kufuado or mine not the more fruit no more team 4 years 8 years no sanka ya po or mine na yankomo po ye they couldn't manage. Come back with the fresh ideas and I understand this whole thing is going on because it's a long standing way but me we need a radical shift. And these things, Sanema, we offer chief imam. Now, one in a car or better here, offer Christopher, Tanasina, no more car, better say going forward. Sassikana, yet the subsidizing winning in Anna, yet they be training Zongo youth, yet they be training Christian youth, or Munia to my into an enterprise. I'll bet him to Monsai so that we give them a future. Rather than we are orders or now one Casa or Hosua. And me growing up, when we say in Cramofona or Mohosono, or Mokomeka, I become blessing for you. Obi, yes, Obi Kura sponsor or quiet, or Mokas is some kind of way or Mokan. I'm not into that. So I think that as a nation, we say we need to break away from emotions. We need to break away from these religious fantasies. Now you're facing the reality because on mine no when you need to baby and now good you and then yes I will say them payo. People believe in God. Let us reserve that to our heart. But when it comes to the real hardcore job, it is about the ingenuity of our minds, the intelligence and the wisdom we bring to bear, and the risk we are ready to take as our mind. And I bet me transform it. Now, veteran, young Kwesi Apreku, young Israel, Kofa Boss, and Israel now Kofa Boss, or Maswan Moda. Oko Israel, bankers, they will most a bankum because they are scared to say we be to bomb become. Oko Israel, every single house, our bomb shelter. Adentia, they are reasonable, they are practically reasonable, sensible. Among us, say to bomb when you may actually weird. Oh, but damn, you may bomb weird. Yeah, we need to get serious in this country. Yeah, to come and say, yes, cathedral, and I see cathedral. God will avert civil war. President Adriano, Cote d'Ivoire. Almost cathedral for Fobane, Yamusoko, the biggest basilica in, I think, in West Africa or Africa, or Cote d'Ivoire. 2012, Ejatomuno. I saw for granted to send Coco. About Chroma say lawyers and judges, Ebane to say Kusia Yabunu Jemwana minimum. They all run away, Cathedral Negiomo. So you see, we need to break away from this weak-minded kind of, an ideology. You won't say Nyame Baye, Nyame Menoa, Nyansana, Drain or their mice, Metan criticizing. That is Nyame. When I'm talking, I am God talking to you. You understand? You will never see God. God is manifested in human form. Or can't you say, young Fenyan Sayabi, want a young couple sorry free Rabbi Mobida. A human ingenuity and human wisdom. God is living in us. And the young fast young son in India, no more home. By the Back for person we are no in slave. Ghana hano ye nipa ye ni say o ye da you o ye yam wo hu say me do so metel so me chain o. That is the stupid mindset we have. Oko America, people get money and they try to reach out. Bill Gates, the fine on the year or settlements, you can almost have to charity and so for just to bring people up. Yeah, you Jessica the talkers I can send you showcase each other for you see Jessica. When these people have potentials and business competing maybe I after nipa more because most of the young people are jobless. What I say? So what is the sense in it going buy expensive cars and as for show when people are poor, when this money we seek about this in a broader sense, and I think that the mindset is very narrow. We need to expand it and look at life from a very different perspective. Nyankopon shire nipa, but Nyankopon fasika mesha wonsem. It is about us and what we do. God bless Ghana.
Right, God bless our motherland Ghana. Nyame shira, nyame wonchi bombo wiem. Tia twede bia no wayusu wadwen kakra na ye mame na me bra Ivan Che innocent ase abeta eni wasi ye mtimo bepon wasi ye pon wasi you confuse silence wasi sometimes I regret being a Ghanaian. Never, don't regret what it things will change. Prince say that Mahama has built 10 churches or one you have not seen. I'm sorry now.
Oh, you see, I don't have a problem. Yes, in our individual ways, we also help. I'm a Christian, so if you may support here, Mahama. At the on the bottom, he can support a church on the side, even before he became president. So it's a different. So as a private business, among for such nobody has a problem with Obi. Sorry.
Yes, you do a mighty does it make sense? All right, Mama, now I say Yami Shrine, Yami had much like Friday, dear. Why would him say a foot to fry? Be won't be. And Yami had much na Yabeshia. Mama, now Ivan, I say Yami Shrine. We used to do. Now what you send never send away.
Amen.
Patch on. Yeah, that's it.
CTV, Ghana's #1.
After years of pain at the pump, fuel prices are easing. But is this real relief or just a temporary pause? What exactly pushed prices to record highs in the first place? And can Ghana avoid going overback there? This explainer breaks it all down. Now, the most dominant factor behind rising fuel prices has been the falling value of the Ghanaian cedi against the US dollar, because Ghana imports virtually all its refined petroleum products in dollars. A weaker cedi directly translates into high import costs. Analysts show that fuel prices quadrupled over the last decade, largely because the cedi lost value while taxes and levies increased. For example, between 2010 and 2019, petrol prices increased by over 340%, even though crude oil prices globally were not always rising, pointing to currency weakness and fiscal policies as key drivers. In 2024 alone, the cedi depreciated sharply against the dollar by nearly 41%, which pushed pump prices even higher. Global events such as the COVID-19 pandemic, the Russia-Ukraine war, and geopolitical tensions in the Middle East disrupted supply chains and pushed international oil and refined products prices up. These pressures translated into high costs for imported fuel. A substantial portion of what drivers pay at the pump comes from not the cost of the fuel itself, but from government taxes and levies, including road fund levies, petroleum taxes, energy debt recovery levies, and distribution margins. Over time, these charges have been increased significantly, adding to the final retail price. Even when global oil prices were flat or falling, these domestic charges helped keep pump prices elevated. Since fuel deregulation in 2015, prices have been determined by market forces rather than fixed by the states, meaning that changes in global prices and exchange rates are passed directly to consumers. This deregulated system allows prices to rise and fall more responsively, but also remove government subsidies that previously softened price spikes. Fuel doesn't just arrive in Ghana. It must be shipped, stored, transported, and distributed. Costs associated with logistics, including bus storage margins and primary distribution costs, also contributed to the long-term increase in prices. But what is causing the recent reduction in fuel prices? After years of increases, fuel prices at the pump have begun to decline, offering relief to motorists and business alike. An important factor helping ease fuel prices in Ghana is the Tema Oil Refinery toll. Supply locally refined fuel, including petrol, diesel and aviation fuel, commonly called fine fuel. Now, reduce dependency on ports. Toll's output means Ghana imports less finished fuel, lowering foreign exchange demand. For example, toll produced approximately 6,000 to 7,000 barrels per day of petrol and diesel in early 2026, contributed to around 10 to 15% domestic consumption. This reduction in imports helps stabilize the cedi. This supports lower pump prices. Imported fuel carries shipping, insurance, ports and storage costs. Fuel refined at toll avoids most of these costs, lowering supply costs by an estimated 50% to 1 Ghana cedis per litre. Local refining shortens the supply chain, reducing the risk of shortages and speculative price spikes. Toll's increased supply in January 2026 helped smooth fuel availability at major depots in Accra, Tema and Takoradi. Toll entering the market with the fuel forces importers to adjust margins, creating downward pressure on pump prices. Analysts estimate that toll supply contributed to 20 to 30% per litre reduction in imported petrol prices in January 2026. International prices for refined products like petrol and diesel have moderated after global markets absorbed earlier shocks. Lower costs overseas mean cheaper imported fuel when translated into Ghana's pricing cycle. Also, a major trigger for recent price reduction has been a strengthening or stabilizing of the cedi relative to the US dollar. A stronger currency makes imports cheaper in local terms, reducing the exchange rate component of fuel costs. And once cost indicators fell, oil marketing companies, OMCs, began adjusting their pump prices, some more aggressively than others, to attract customers in a competitive market. Fuel prices in Ghana are adjusted every 2 weeks based on global costs and exchange rates. When these indicators move downward, reductions are reflected into the next pricing window. People often wonder, if prices rise fast, why don't they fall just as quickly? The answer lies in taxes and levies that do not automatically decrease when markets improve. Cautious pricing strategies by fuel marketers to avoid losses if conditions reverse. Still fragile exchange rates expectations, meaning companies build buffers into prices. So reductions tend to be gradual rather than dramatic. What does it mean for Ghanaians? For consumers, lower fuel prices can reduce transport costs, slow the inflation of goods and ease the cost of living. For businesses, cheaper fuel can lower input costs for logistics, agriculture and manufacturing, potentially aiding growth. Economically, fuel is just one piece of the puzzle. Sustained stability depends on broader fiscal and monetary reforms. Fuel price reductions are welcome news, but they reflect a complex set of forces, from global oil markets and currency values to domestic taxes and market deregulation. Understanding these factors help explain not just what is happening at the petroleum pump, but why it happened in the first place and what must continue to change if future price shocks are to be avoided. Veronica Amade, CTV News.
CTV, Ghana's #1.
Unbelievable. Said you have a city and the Amama Kai or baby and a home fair. Wow! Hello, Miss World.
Hello, Ajimara.
Now I hear now what to say.
Me who yo, madam for be ho our classy. Menene ye ni amado so.
Me nyana nka me wogana. Nanso me talk, me no wiasia na mabe pie electronic shop bi a kire say. Said you have a city no. Na ohunfo nyini ene twa wo mani so say. Me ba but gold, diamond, jewels, nickels, pearls, blankets, everything. I'm a
Shimmer of international waters. Hey,
wow.
Obaa onya bochire bia.
Obaa wani breno.
Yenko na me ko so.
Ita broche na ni.
Sister, Electroland Ghana Limited showroom for Krani. Kasi Kumase, Omo woni mapa say Samsung, TCL, Media and Nasco product. Ahano munya bochiro, Omo me ebi say Kaswa, Ashaman, Makasim, Tamale, Sprinters, Coca-Cola.
Ajimara, eti mi na nka ba che adwuma kutu dia so me say ba.
Me private jet no kwa e be see me na me ba. Let's bygone be bygone. Hey, enyema mo pese mo yi no ha bia. Munyi
Yo, yebeyi.
Electroland Ghana, home of electronics and affordable luxury.
Alive soap.
Just like how water refreshes you on a hot sunny day, it takes a refreshing bath with Alive soap to feel its pleasant fragrances.
The soap I want and need at the end of every day,
Leaving you with soft, smooth and fresh looking skin.
you make me feel alive, you really brighten my day, my day.
Available in lemon, coconut, rose and aloe vera fragrance. Alive soap. Feel fresh, feel alive.
Introducing the new Jamal washing powder with multi-enzymes that helps remove stubborn stains.
It has a nice fragrance. Not harsh on my hands. Foams easily. And removes stains well.
Oh, I still to be.
Ma, you brought 5 big sachets of new Jamal washing powder.
Yes, ma.
It really removes stains. It has a nice fragrance.
Yes, ma.
Then add 30 sacks of Jamal washing powder to your engagement list.
Hey.
Yes, ma'am.
New Jamal washing powder for cleaner, fresher wash. Your partner for clean clothes. This advert is FDA approved.
Rise and shine, it's another day to stay on point. Toast is Friday, it's still on point. Watch is Friday all day long. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Watch is bread, it's still on point. For your bread, it's creamy. For your toast, it's still on point. It's yummy, delicious. It's still on point. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. For your toast, it's still on point. It's still on point. Fortune spread, it's yummy, delicious. It's still on point.
Fortune spread, delicious, creamy, and always on point. This advert is FDA approved.
Sabreya yani 2025 ewie. Na ye bie yensem e de ahia 2026. High sense was here from America crazy. Na ye dagana fo nyina se. Ye nimpa se gidi a wonya we mu na oni ediga no. Eno na aboa mo high sense ye do some pempens we. Se wo hu de enko ya wo boy amane. Onu kredie. Eni se mo boy ye chidom. Ahye ye nkran ama ye hihye niema kama e de brem. Technology de bra fi no utiribe bom ye customer service no so ya show mu kutupa ye ye a check ane no afa ye mu say e ba no quality home appliances and electronics high sense chino boko be obi ani ho 2026 aye me no wie no nyina afi aye de be ye niema nwanwaso e wo high sense everyday prices for everyday people.
You are the princess of the land. And I want to pam ya pam.
Manitia say, or ye me banny yere.
Listen, I did Obaa Yaa no ho. And when you want taxi, I will get baby. I did don't want to.
If you want me to be happy, then I don't want to see you walking with Yahweh.
It is impossible. Bury me be around worry that hima. Metia sinquandia me maquine.
Can you repeat yourself? What did you say?
Akasevi.
And then we were pamso. It is only be quite pamwa. You know, ye pa.
And to mammy, and Luna would buy and a crowd say,
What's my baby? You're better than found. Yan is my young one.
Mamma, to Casacas and Abuela.
Don't force love. Remember, what is meant to be will surely be.
Jenny Yakun Fu Kuman sing, and to say, Bibi Gerard, you move be back and alpha.
Say phone na me dem si awowa ma wono. Me kun so dia ko si awowa. Oba ko fi wo ko si le kun. Huh? What's that?
Drop the gift on the bench.
Abeku.
Say, drop the gift on the bench.
Abeku, I said take it back.
I'm the only seaman in Kolebono. We are seaman. Why are you from Cassidy Sase? Ghana economy that we have. This is the reason why you are poor. Hey! Even riches is crossing your path, then you are jumping. You will die in poverty.
Bakusana! Kina isoba. Sabo malio. O size na na shawono. Kuonya waye.
Nka Obaa Yaa kra cheme kra na ngefe.
What? Jump there, jump on my dear. You know what you are here. Keska. You told me, baby, you will never leave me alone in this year. The sack will swallow me. Yeah, baby.
You catch me from Hamugo. All your financial problems are over. They tell you now. Hey, within a bunny way before we no papa way. I sent you to school. 0. Go and learn a trade. 0. For higher second better than grandma. Wow. Free man day.
You support them, no? No, me a millionaire. I don't know.
This man won't drink my drink. He don't give me money. He won't go. He won't come back in the afternoon. Where did they do that one?
Who is this monkey? Shut up there! Who is your god monkeys?
That is it there.
Won't you mean to me weak, mommy? Won't you mean to make up for that school, mommy?
Very soon I'll finish learning my trade. I'll start making money to take care of you, Dede.
This is the for the local time. I have a good job, Auntie.
I bet give me a bottle of beer to drink.
Give me the one where you don't drink first. I beg. Nobody gets me wheelbarrow here to carry you go out.
Asase Siman, yeah the bro, memende, and the memende bia, and you ran on Sia Pepe, was CTV, Ghana's #1, ESO.
Say Odoma asetena panti. Ma memusa wo se etesai. Na wa waremo etesai. Menu asofo. O ministry mo